Alright, hello everybody, and welcome on back to some musings when login issues strike. I don't even know what to call this. So we're in the when login issues strike world. I haven't really come up with a better name for it, but this is my offline world that whenever I'm signed out of my account for whatever reason and I can't get back in, which I can, it just takes some finagling and then I gotta try it and then this. It's not worth the effort. I mean, every now and then I'll try it the easy couple of ways, but like the really good way to do it, I don't know. I'm confident I could get back in, but I don't want to exert the effort to do the troubleshooting that is getting back in. But anyways, back to this world. So this world, we're creating a shrine of knowledge. That looks very strange, yes. It's got cacti growing in it, but we've got foo funds, we've got education, we've got religion, we've got politics. So far, that's just the few things that I was thinking that the main things that we muse about in these things can pretty much fall into most of those categories, except for foo funds is just a separate thing. That's a project or a solution to try to help remediate the greed and both intentional and accidental, the real and the implied and the fictitious, the imagined, all the different types of greed, um, just because of interest rates and things like Wall Street and investment and things like Shark Tank and well, really investment, money markets, and a lot of economical things. Now, I say that having a brief understanding of economics. I have a minor in business administration, which required that I take one class in accounting, one class in marketing, one class in finance, one class in management, one class in. Well, my capstone for that minor was a class on international business. Oh, that was boring as all get out. I mean, it would have been great, but it was a almost 4 hour class, one night a week. And apologies to the professor. I mean, the actual class was fine. There's nothing wrong with the class. It was very interesting material, but it was just like after 4 hours of listening straight, after a full day of like school and often probably work, you know, it wasn't the class. It was a bad timing. I wish I would have taken that in a separate setting, maybe broken it up a little bit. But I had to, I wanted to graduate on time. Checking my watch 10 years later. It took me almost 10 years to graduate. I did like about 5 years of actual work for my major, which was computer sciences lesser cousin, applied computing technology, which doesn't have a GPA requirement, because I took 2 years of just failing out of classes. Well, the first year I did pretty good, and I found that yes, I could just miss class all the time and just show up for the tests. I survived with C's and B's through doing that, and a couple A's actually, and but after going through school for 12 years without a decent break, like I think everyone needs a gap year, whether they can afford it or not. And I mean, I even did have a gap year now that I think about it, but I was waiting for, I guess it was a gap year of just working and living in Buena Vista. Like I had a trailer. I still wanted to be independent. I wanted to move out of my parents' house. So I got a trailer in like basically a retirement community. Like I slipped in. It was supposed to be for like I don't know how they it was just basically a bunch of old people and I feel like that's what it was supposed to be and somehow I got in. I don't know because normally trailer parks are more of like the risque variety or people that are going through a hard time or not really doing too good at life. Like unfortunately, and I think that's changing. But even like in my experience, we had Sleeping Indian, which was, I mean, kind of an offensive name in its own. Like we had a mountain called Sleeping Indian that you look up at, and so every day when you wake up in the morning, you look up and see, oh, there's Sleeping Indian, like, and it looked like a Native American on its back sleeping. Like, so if you woke up, like there'd be the 14ers this way, and then there'd be sleeping. Oh, you know what? I should make a Buena Vista. Or even as I'm looking at the map, like that could be a thing. Let's take some books with us. Okay, we're gonna go muse. Let's see, we got education, religion, and politics. Okay, let's go on an adventure. I need a boat. Hmm, let's take like this one. Not super suave, I know, but effective. Anyways, so yeah, I like that. Look at that blue green. Um, what I really wanted to talk about this session, well, there's a few things going on. Let's first talk about the Supreme Court's decision. So politics, we got the politics book. I wish I could see like the name of it. Oh, you know what? I can. Oh wait, let's do that real quick just because I don't want to forget that idea. You can name things. It is book and quill until I hit an anvil and I can just change the name for I think like one level. I don't know. Let's try to do that. Also, I'm gonna try to drink and drive one-handed. And that's water, by the way. I haven't had alcohol in over 5 years, no, 4 years, and very happy because of it. Not that it doesn't have its place, but oh my gosh, it is so easy to abuse and to fall into a drunken stupor that just, ah. Alright, so now I can change the name. I believe this was education, but let's just look to be sure. Okay, higher education, well-rounded standard, yeah, psychology, all these things that really everybody needs to know. You got DARE for substance abuse, so it's really more of like a subcategory, but all of these ologies and basically stuff we still learn in things like Magic School Bus and whatnot. And then the relevancy and okay, yeah. So education. Oh no, it doesn't. Education, book and quill. Can I not write erase book and quill? Okay, yeah. There we go. And let's see. This one was religion. Yes, religion we can definitely go into a lot. In fact, I've got some buddies that are, well, born again Christians. So I don't know. I think I'm a born again. I don't even know what, but skeptical Christian. I like to put it that way. But I don't even like identifying as a Christian because it's like so much hate and anger and stuff is like I don't know. We don't have all the answers. It's like religion. But after talking and living with people that grew up practicing Islam, we're all the same. Like we're all trying to do the same stuff. We just call it by different names. And because of that, people don't take the time, and maybe because they can't, I don't know, or maybe they can't understand that like they're basically the same. Um, this is politics, and that one, it's easy to understand how people don't understand. So, what? Politics, religion, education. All right, cool. So yeah, let's talk politics. So I was just starting to read a 20-page response or like the decision from the Supreme Court on like whether or not state ballots can remove Trump. Now, to back up a little bit, it depends on. Well, okay. First, before we even get into it, it was complicated as all get out. All right, we're talking very complex language and like, basically just every time I read some law or some document that's government or whatever, I swear it's like some, nerdy little kid that's trying to abuse their friends by knowing all the rules that they don't and trying to pull one over on them and doesn't realize that, okay, yeah, haha, it's fun, but that kind of takes the fun out of it. And it's like, and I guess growing up playing board games, like you kind of almost learn how to cheat and then I mean, and you think you're so slick and everything, but the adults know what you're doing. Like, and I try to call kids out. They be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Like, or maybe even just like add it as a slight joke. Be like, all right, you're far away from home, buddy. I don't know what to do in this situation. Let's just pick them up. Okay. You live in the boat now, and you'll come with us on our adventure. But 20 pages. Yeah, 20 pages of. I just got read through the first like two or three. And mind you, I have a college degree. I have a certification in cybersecurity. I've done like 10 years of higher education. I did pretty good in basic education through the grades. I had a a high GPA. I had like straight A's and B's all through high school. Like, I mean, getting a C, I don't think that even happened. And I mean, I could be wrong though, but I honestly don't remember ever getting a C. Actually, yeah, here's a village. You'll live over here, even if you weren't from here. Now you do, because otherwise you're gonna be sitting here for a long time. I like to think in the real world, like if this were, or not in the real world, obviously, but if they were really people with like emotions, feelings, and all that, and like they would have the ability to figure it out themselves. Okay, just take you back in here. So the potential chances of you finding land are good. Oh, oh, also if I hit you too. Sorry. You'll run and you'll go on to land. And then if it wasn't peaceful, an iron golem, if one existed, would come out and rock my world, knock me up to the moon. To the moon and back, Alice. Which we laugh about now, or no, we laughed about back then, but it was actually a joke about beating your wife. So, older times. Times that are no longer okay. Also, by the way, hey, what up, Fidget House? I love how the shorts do, because I submitted I made a short out of the Fidget House. Oh no! Oh no! Oh. Alright. It's got to keep it symmetrical. I guess that's why you shouldn't fidget with an axe. Well, now it looks out of place. Now I feel like we gotta. There you go. And now that is a testament or a reminder of why you don't fidget with an axe, which just sounds really bad anyway. Oh yeah, politics. Sorry, I'm easily distracted. So the Supreme Court decision. I still don't know. I think I read somewhere on the news or something that they decided that Trump could not be removed. That's what I read. Was like no state is should be allowed to remove former President Trump from the ballot. There you go. That's it. So, and I think it was unanimous. All nine of the Supreme Court justices did it. And where I get that from is because on the X app I followed Robert Reiner, not Reiner, but Robert Beertech or Rivtech or, anyways, he's an economist that does these really entertaining YouTube videos, really well done, but that explain or simplify some very complex things. Now, and that's why like people that have seen that, I feel like a lot of people that criticize him haven't seen those things. Now, right there, it'd be like, okay, if you're able to post links to his videos or in support of it, and then have an easier, concise, more manageable way of seeing that idea portrayed, then you're going to have an easier time. I mean, because that's why Trump's so popular anyway. He breaks things down, he dumbs it down, he does broad strokes to where it's really, I mean, it's very deceptive. But at the same time, it's not all smoke and mirrors. Like he does have some valid points, like when he's doing speeches and whatnot. And again, that is filtered, or I'm just guessing he does. See, I don't even know directly, but from what I've seen on the other end, from people that debate like the Republican side and not even the Republican side, just like the anti-liberal side, because I fall prey to that a lot. Like I'll say Trump this or that, thinking it's a straw man fallacy when it's not. And in fact, I'm discussing something with a libertarian or some other flavor of not liberal. So when you're talking computer science and proofs and stuff, there's like, yeah, not or computer logic, like and or not. In fact, we should. I wonder if we could represent gate logic with redstone. I mean, if we can, I'm sure it's been done. So if I did a quick Google search, I could probably find a YouTube video that has somebody explaining gate logic with redstone. I'm trying to think, because it's and. Hmm. We could show on the Fidget House. Up is yes, down is no. So this is and, yes, because it's 1 and 2. All right, now if we're looking at this, or would still be correct because all it requires is one or the other. So, and this would also be yes for an or, but not for an and. It would give a 0. So, huh. Actually, I feel like I should almost do a whole thing. I like how I'm talking about the Supreme Court, and then I just kind of get into like computer logic too. So like, and then a not, a nor. Well, like this would be a 0 for and, 0, 0 for and. Now for an or, this would be a 0. Now if this one was set and this one was not, it would still be a 1, the resulting output, because it would be this or that, which yes. Then same with this. This would be or, so if the output up here was it would still be a 1 because it'd be like, yes, one of them was true. Now, it's like a NAND would still prove, and that's where it gets really tricky because if you think of that like both of them being not, like there's a NOR or not. Anyways, that's and or. So and this is the only one that outputs yes in a situation with two factors. Now, if it was four factors, four things, it would have to be all four up. So if we're looking at this side of the house and like, sorry, are all the levers pointing at us, this would work for an and, but that would break it. That would break it. That would break it. That would break it. And by that I mean get a zero for an output because then it becomes false. It's either a true or false statement, a one or a zero. And so, yeah. Now, or would be easy with four. I mean, all you need is one. Like, that would still work. That would still work. Oops. I mean, technically, this would still work too. Like two of any. You could even do the opposite and have those two set, or have three, or just two. Any combination, as long as any of those ones, then it's yes. So, and then XOR is a little trickier. XOR you have to do with just two, because if it's, this is where it's exclusively this situation where it's one yes and one no, or one and one zero. And then this would be the only other situation with the two that an XOR, because it can only be one or the other. It can't be both. So with simple gate logic like that, that's how you program computers, machines, storing data in the form, music, videos, this stream, everything all comes down to and, NAND, or, XOR, you know, the simple ones. In fact, I saw this really cool meme on the Facebooks a while ago, and I've shared it a couple of times. I think it usually comes around Halloween because it's of a pumpkin, and it shows with like Venn diagrams carved on pumpkins. I think it's still even a cartoon, so like a picture of carved pumpkins that have Venn diagrams, and it explains gate logic. So those are gates like computer gates, like little circuits, and it can either be a one or a zero. So like the presence of an electrical charge or the absence of an electrical charge. And I was actually talking about this with some colleagues the other day, and now, networks. Now, originally I thought that networks were, yes, there's one, or no, there isn't, and then they just do the timing. And a lot of people think that in the beginning, and I think that's what they intended to do. But it's so hard to maintain the frequencies and the detection of the frequencies at an efficient enough rate to be able to work. So they actually have like a range. And so there's always like a constant frequency or something like that. And then it's easier to tell the brace or whatever. I forget the reason if it was out of need or out of design, but I want to say design. Like there's some reason that they did this. So there's always like slightly. I think in originally there was, and that's how it works in computers. It's like or a gate set. And so if you think about um, uh, so it's not necessarily the presence of an electrical charge, but it's like a mark. Or so think of it about a fidget, a pop it fidget. So if you pop it in, there's a mark. But then when you pop it back from the other side, there's a divot. And so depending on whether it's a mark or a divot, and the electrical charge goes through and sets it, so it pops it or it pushes it, and then it's gone. Like, and that's it. The electricity did its job. It set a bit to the state where it says, yes, now I'm a one, or I'm something other than not, or I'm in the first of the two stages, or a binary stage. And it's so unfortunate that a lot of the transgender argument, discussion, and issues rotate around binary because binary really at its core means of two choices. Like there are two, by two choices. Now, yeah, but then they've become buzzwords that can distract and detract from a discussion. So politics, right? A 20-page, like 20 minutes into a video about gate logic and fidget houses, and I love these fidget houses, all because I accidentally got a stack of levers instead of a stack of um, torches because they look very similar. Look, you got the still two strands there, but then if you look at the torch in my inventory, in fact, I've got the drift going too. Ah, no. Okay. So we got a lever and we got a torch. And look, side by side comparison. They look very similar. Very similar. I mean, okay. Anyways. Um, but yeah, 20 pages of stuff that I still haven't read. I gotta go back and read it, but we gotta get things dumbed down. And dumbed down isn't really the best term. I like broad strokes, and that's what we're doing with these things. Because even though technically dumbed down is kind of an appropriate thing, that implies that the person is dumb. But you know, or it could, and a lot of that's projection. Like, so if somebody's a little self-conscious of being less educated than someone else, which happens a lot in political discussions, whether it's real or implied, like projection, because of the way that we people are, we project these issues out onto political discussions a lot. And then like, and I notice myself doing too. I'm right there in the boat because I'm a people, you know. And I think we often forget that. We often forget that, like, when you're talking about people, it does mean everyone. Wait, why is this one set? Or like not? I'm kind of confused. Probably just so I would ask that question later. Would it be really diabolical if I was messing with myself and then, whoops, and just leaving like a couple, and then, or even just like one like that? I feel like, and then I'd come back later and not realize it. Like, why would I leave it like that? Was I no? And then is it the ghost in the machine? Is it somebody messing with me, logging in, like? Which again, if I was the game company, I would so totally do that to mess with people. And I'd put it into the agreement. I'd put it shoved way down there to where people wouldn't read it anyway. And then I would slowly mess with people and come in and do things like this. Or just put some code to randomly generate a block, like just random in your world, and just have no explanation for it. And then, I mean, the possibilities are endless. I hope Minecraft pays attention. Mojang, Microsoft. I mean, if these videos ever get popular enough to where somebody says, "Oh, hey," and that's where I'm kind of stuck at with like how to launch the Foo Funds, because it's a great idea, and I know that enough people can get on board with that, especially from the publicity on the back end too. Because, and one thing I did learn for that business minor, or minor in business administration, was that part of the costs in a company's budget is their reputation. They actually factor that into their accounting, how much money they can spend or their budget towards good faith. So a lot of companies, they'll do like a volunteer day, and so they'll pay the wages for those people to work that day, but then they'll have them go pick up trash or whatever. Or like, I mean, I think you can't like force people to that. It has to be like people can sign up, but you can do simple tricks like, well, you can either stay here at work or you can go pick up trash with us, your choice. And then it's a little more like, oh, okay, well, yeah, it's better than staying here working, you know. I mean, if people need the additional motivation, and that's the unfortunate thing, is like businesses are kind of like that cold face, because decisions are often made like way over here or up here or wherever, and then they trickle down, and then, you know, managers and assistant managers and all that, they have to enact them. And I saw a lot of this in my time at Subway, which I worked there 5 years. I was assistant manager. I was going to get my own store, and it was really easy to get your own store. But what I often saw from the people that I worked for, the managers, they were like accidentally tricked into it or something. Because you do make decent money. You can make a living off of a Subway manager's pay pay sorry, pay rate, wage, whatever. Sorry, I was trying to say the same thing. Anyways, by being a Subway manager, you could live, but it is a hard job. You got to like basically wrestle or wrangle cats, like keeping track of the workers that work at Subways, which are often not in the best place of their life, because who can afford to live on an employee's wage? Now, other places are slightly different, but like Subway is just more of a an independent franchise thing where, not saying it's all bad. Like, there are a lot of great, well-run Subways, and it is a good business model, and it makes good food when you have a good team and all that, and it's really hard. And oftentimes, it's the people with the most jacked up lives that end up being like the best cooks or the best, you know, workers, the ones that'll put it all out and like work hard, be dependable, or, you know, maybe, I don't know. But at the end of the day, everybody is a person, and everybody is susceptible to having a bad day, a bad week, you know, going on a bender or having substance issues, especially if their life ain't that great. Now, that's why we do these things, this whole, you know, education, all that, because In order to reach more of a nirvana or a heaven on earth or a peace or a world order, a new world order, yep, don't get scared. It's just a word. Just like the end of the world, like it's often been interpreted that it was actually the end of an age or the end of an era. And so like some people have freaked out like, "Oh my God, the world's ending." Oh, it's supposed to be the end of the world. And then it's like a mistranslation like, "Oh, it was just the end of an age." Oh, sorry everybody. Sorry, go back to what you're doing, you know. Um, and miscommunication in matters of life and death, especially on a global scale, are very important. You know, but same with miscommunication in religion too. That's why we got this book. It's because I lived with Muslims, and oh my gosh, we didn't behead each other. Like they didn't try to spread it by the sword, and I didn't try to indoctrinate them of a ever eternal hell if they didn't follow Jesus. Like we were able to live together, and not only that, religion didn't really come up all that often. Like we just kind of, I mean, every now and then we would ask each other like questions about it, be like just clarification of things that didn't really seem right with us. But most of the time, we were just doing the same thing, being in college, like having, watching sporting events, having barbecues, doing homework, going to classes, going to the gym, like normal college stuff. So, yeah, it was great. What am I even doing over here? Making a BV, that's right. Okay, so we've got, how do you make it? Like, that's like building a mountain. Hmm. I mean, I thought like I looked on the map and saw that there's some terrain, some geography that would look. I think geography is not really the right term. I think that's more like maps. No, geography is like the way the land is. I'd say. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. And it's funny because my sister studied geog. Oh, sorry, we won't go into that. I had a geology class, which is the rock one, rocks and minerals. I got the highest score in my class. It was at Front Range Community College, and I was competing with an old Grateful Dead hippie that, lo and behold, did IT for public schools. Like, I mean, he was just a Grateful Dead hippie, and anybody that used to go to the Grateful Dead shows had probably a chance to use some substances, probably some mind expanding substances. So, and that's just I love to see examples of it because it's like I mean all like anybody who's got the long hair and like the Grateful Dead shirts and like appears like is willing enough to boldly look like a hippy dippy like, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I mean that in more of like a term of endearing. Like they're braver than I because I lived the life of a hippy dippy. I used to be quite the stoner in high school. I mean, now I don't know. I mean, I haven't even been to a music festival. Actually, I don't think I really even went to the music festival. So I guess like by that right, I wasn't very hippy dippy. Oh yeah, look at this. We got some flower fields. In fact, my first concert was Cottonmouth Kings and Tech Nine with my high school sweetheart. No, that was the other thing. I was just, anyways. I don't really want to go into all that too much because that's kind of a thing. But oh wait, is that snow? Hmm. Only a dabble of it. That's kind of misleading with like the map. It looks like it could develop into more, but it's really just that on the edge of the map. So, oh, and then on the realm, we just found a giant snow biome. I'm sure there's one around here somewhere too. There tends to be like a very Arctic like map section. So that's what we should do. We should do some exploration while we talk about this stuff. Oh, we were gonna muse and put stuff in the books, but we learned about some gate logic, came and found some nice land, and make a little BV. Squirrel. Oh no, no, I don't like that at all. Oh man, this is a very dangerous place. And this, I'll show you why. Because I would totally just go running through that over the edge and fall all the way down. Look at that, that is so well hidden. I do not like that that's a thing. But am I going to take the time to fix it? Probably not really. And there's a couple of those like that. I mean, we were just looking at it on the edge of the village, so there's that one. Which, yeah. Oh man, oh look at that. That is so. Minecraft do be putting some dangerous terrain in their maps. All right, well, we're gonna do some exploration. We're gonna make this a whole nother season. We'll do when login issues strike. Season 2. There you go. we'll just stay in this world for a while. I mean, even if I do log back in, I mean, which is probably going to be soon, because my son's been liking to join other servers and stuff. So, like at some point, he's just probably going to do it. Be like, "Come on, Dad, let's just do it." Like, and he could too. I've taught him how, shown him how to do it. Like, oh, same with my daughter too, but she's a little less into the Minecraft. All right, so yeah, ta-ta for now. I'll see you in the next one, and we'll go do some exploring. All right, see you there. We'll talk about politics, religion, books, education, everything, gate logic, or I don't know. We'll probably just wander around the map. All right, ta-ta for now. See you in the next one.